What's going on, yo? I'm here to talk about the changes and buffs I've made for Luvdisc and Alomomola. Yes, I made Luvdisc evolve into Alomomola. However, in my ROM hacks, a lot of the times, especially for cross-generational evolutions or new evolutions like this, I always make the original base Pokemon worth keeping over its evolved counterpart, depending on your personal preferences and your team composition and all that stuff. So before I get into explaining my thought process behind the type change and the ability choices and just the overall approach I took with Luvdisc and Alomomola, I want to have a bunch of important disclaimers for new viewers. Well, first of all, for returning viewers, this is the first time I've bulk recorded in a long time, like over a month and a half, because I just started grad school. So I might be a bit rusty with like the the intro shit, but we'll make it work. So for the new viewers, I recommend you pause the video and read the description. I've got a long bullet point list that you can skim through and read to understand my general approach and ideas behind the ROM hack better, so please do give that a read. And then I also have a move guide on the Google Sheet link down below. Super important and easy to digest if you just go through it in order. It looks overwhelming, but it's really not that bad. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, with all that out of the way, Luvdisc and Alomomola. So fairy type, pretty self-explanatory. Luvdisc is all about love. Alomomola is all about like healing and helping others and being caring. So you kind of like both of those already are associated with fairy type. And then when you throw in the obvious like color scheme and design traits, being feminine, being again like shaped like a heart, whatever, that's all very much fairy type. And it just helps them stick out from other pure water types. Yes, they do gain some extra weaknesses. They lose the steel resist, they gain poison, but I mean, they also gain fighting resist and dragon immunity and bug resist and all this other dark resist, right? So it's definitely overall better for them in a lot of ways. And yeah, so Luvdisc is like now, so I've seen a lot of ROM hacks do some dumb shit with Luvdisc that I personally really don't like. I don't like picking it offensive. I don't think that makes any sense. Like I guess the only justification you could have is that it has Swift Swim and vanilla, but even then, like I don't see this thing with anything higher than like maybe 80 special attack at most. Like look at it, right? Like, in this design, nothing about it really conveys like power in that way. I like making Luvdisc a supportive type of like fast Pokemon, and then not Lumineon, Jesus, Alomomola can be like obviously the bulkier support type Pokemon. They do have like passable offensive presence, especially with high base power moves late game like Hydro Cannon, which is basically water type Draco Meteor, Eternal Beam, which is like a fairy type recoil special move. So stuff like that, not only does it combine very well with Regenerator, because both of those are going to require you to either switch out or heal yourself, but it's just like good because the high base power kind of makes up for the lower special attack. And they do have some solid covers, but really the main thing they are doing is being like a bulky pivot or defensive utility type of mon. They have tons of really cool heal moves. They have Wish plus Protect. They have Rehydrate, which is water type recover. And then they also have access to Draining Kiss, obviously, which is great on them. Now that it's Stab especially. And then also Life Dew, which is a exclusive priority healing move. You get one use of it for each boss and you heal to full. So with Move Relearner, you can run like a full stall, bulk, whatever set with like debuff and heal and regen and just go crazy. As for your other abilities, keep in mind I do have to balance water fairy types around each other and their ability choices, so it's definitely kind of difficult sometimes to pick 3 slots for everything that's unique. And in this case I also wanted to slightly differentiate Luvdisc and Alomomola a bit more, because I already have the whole, I mean, the fact that Luvdisc is a lot faster and frailer without a Violet is good. I think even with a Violet it's still probably not bulkier than Alomomola just because of that giant HP gap. But with the Violet, Luvdisc is very tanky. I mean, 65, 80, 100 is great with the Violet. And then, you're really quick, which is the good thing. You can go for faster debuffing options and, attack faster and that kind of thing. It's definitely a cool little niche. So even if you do... So basically you can either choose to evolve as soon as you can, which is like mid-game-ish, or you can keep Luvdisc longer. It's really up to you and your personal taste and whatever you think is more fun. For example, I would say if I got like a plus speed nature or like a beneficial, yeah, just a plus speed nature, I would probably keep Luvdisc, to be honest, just because it's like cool. But yeah, they have tons of great debuffing moves like Charm and Befriend being special charm, Tickle, Baby Doll Eyes, Play Nice, and then you've also got like other like chip damage type moves like which combine well with Protect, like Whirlpool. Haze is great for obviously removing stat boosts versus the AI. Dreamy Kiss is a 100% accurate sleep move. Sorry, 85% accurate sleep move, which will be 100% accurate if you slap on a wide lens. Sorry, I forgot to talk about abilities. Yeah, so Misty Surge, I think it's fitting given the whole like carefree and caring healing type of vibe Alomomola has going for it. And people might be like, oh, this is Tapu Fini #2 or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, nice comparison. That was supposed to be sarcastic, but I don't know if it if it sounded that way. Tapu Fini's not in Gen 9, so I can give Misty Surge to these guys. In competitive, Misty Surge is great because status is ubiquitous and always a factor. In-game, Misty Surge is extremely niche, but it's not useless. It has obviously there is a benefit to being immune to status, like it lets you switch around certain moves. Like the AI often on the lead might have a status move, or like maybe one status move per boss, like a sleep or a paramon. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. But in general, it's definitely more of like a utility type tool because it allows you to override other terrain. So if the AI has like an electric surge team or a psychic surge team, you can switch in your Luvdisc or Alomomola and override that. And then you also have the benefit of what's it called? Like terrain pulse and activating like terrain items like Misty Seed and stuff like that on any of your teammates, because all special attackers in this game get access to Weather Ball, Terrain Pulse TMs. So you can slap on, Terrain Pulse and get a 100 base power fairy move on any mon if you have a Luvdisc or Alomomola on your team, which is pretty cool. And then I gave Luvdisc Trace because of the whole heart, like tracing type aspect, love, whatever, right? I think it makes enough sense. And it's a really cool utility option. It's very versatile. So in competitive, Trace is decent, but in-game, in a game where every Pokemon has 3 great abilities, Trace is awesome because you're supposed to cycle between your abilities, right? Obviously, most of the time, you're going to be wanting Regenerator on these guys. That's just like the nature of the ability and their stats and stuff, but you're not... Just hopefully you guys can't hear that construction in the background, bro. I love the city, man. Yeah, so... Sorry, now I lost my train of thought. Regenerator, yeah, that's like your staple. But Misty Surge is great for utility, and Trace is really cool because in-game you're prepping for you're supposed to at least be prepping for every boss fight and looking at what they have before you pick your moves, your EV spread, all that's your ability slot, right? So for certain boss fights, you can switch in your Luvdisc and trace whatever ability the opponent has, and it's very versatile and very good in that regard. Alomomola switches Trace for Resilient, which is pretty boring, but obviously it complements their bulk, and it could be useful. You could either do some weakness policy shenanigans, or honestly just use it to take a hit that you wouldn't otherwise be able to take, because while this thing is incredibly fat, it's not like it can't be O-code, right? So, or like, I don't know, again, it is niche. It was kind of difficult to think of 2 other abilities for Alomomola and Luvdisc that don't overlap with other Water Fairy types, that are also like worth using over Regenerator, because I don't like offensively oriented abilities on these guys, because I just don't think it makes very much sense on them for their design and their whole lore. So, more supportive, utility, fast type stuff. They do have Take Heart late game, which is an Omni boost, which is better on Luvdisc because it's faster. So you can actually like try to take advantage of some offensive stuff with Luvdisc and Take Heart. However, it does drop your speed now. So essentially you're going to be running White Herb to get neutral speed, or you run not White Herb and you just take the speed drop and you're just like a bulky, like it's better on Alomomola at that point. Heart Swap is priority, pretty niche in game because the AI won't be boosting that often, but if you do let the AI boost and then you go for your Heart Swap, your single use Heart Swap, then you can definitely steal some boosts, I guess. But it's not like this is competitive where like, oh my god, this is crazy, you can steal stat boosts. It's really not that important of a move, but it's cool for flavor because of the whole heart vibe they got going on. I would say some of the other best moves on his guys is stuff like Chilling Water and Aurora Beam and stuff, and Disarming Voice. All 3 of those moves are debuffing options. So basically, they drop attack or special attack by -1, and that's great with regen. That's great with Flip Turn, for example. You can even run like an AV Flip Turn, Chilling Water, Draining Kiss type of set, and just absolutely completely stonewall any special attacks. And just take nothing, even from like super effective ones, and just debuff them and switch out and pivot around and get your Regenerator healing. So yeah, this thing is great. Luvdisc is cool too. I like that it's faster and still pretty very bulky with that Eviolite. And in general, I appreciate you guys for listening. Let me know if you made it to the end. A couple other small things I could touch on, but I'm trying to bang these out because I'm currently 71 videos behind. So yeah. Alright, y'all. Appreciate you listening. Make sure you drop a comment if you made it to the end. I really do appreciate it. Peace.